Welcome to Canines for America. My name is Ryan, and today we're working on tracking. So today we're going to be working on our tracking 101. And what we mean by tracking is we're going to start developing the olfactory within the canine. So anything that, we're going to call it tracking, but it's anything that we could possibly do with the canine's nose, we're going to start developing that. So whether it is tracking for an article, tracking for a missing person, tracking for a suspect, tracking for your cell phone, lost keys, anything that has to do with odor that we're asking the dog to search for, we're going to call that tracking 101. And today we're going to start, we're just going to show you guys some simple games that you can start to play with your canine and creating that development of their olfactory. We're going to use an 11-year-old female Malinois to show you that game. That's chloric. And some of the difficulties that come in with that. And then we're also going to show you our young 5-year-old Malinois and Miss Rosie and in the beginning parts of the game and how she utilizes her nose, her olfactory. Each one has a different temperament. Rosie is sanguine, Siren is chloric. And then each have different dominant behavioral reactions that also come into play with the game. In setting this game up, guys, you can see first off our conditions. Today, it's incredibly windy today. We have 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It's cold. It's probably not the most ideal conditions to start to play the game with your young dog if you're just getting into developing their olfactory. It'll make it difficult with the odor, as it's going to be throwing the odor all over the place, especially if your dog has a heavy orienting reaction and the environment is concerning to them. A good place to play this game to start off would either be inside your home, inside your a building, or inside a kind of a controlled area like this. And you're going to need about roughly ideal would probably be 20 feet. I know we've always come to you guys and we said, hey, you can do this with a 5x5. That's your general obedience. Now we're getting into a more intermediate a skill set that we want to start developing with our canine. So we're going to need a little bit larger of an area in order to play this game. So what we're going to do is we're going to start back with the orange box, and we're just going to be able to, we're going to lay a track. And we're going to use beef stew meat. We've already been using our beef stew meat to teach our dogs some basic, simple commands in developing that language. Therefore, they need to know those commands before you start getting into these advanced games. Tracking, protection, anything that you're starting to do that's much more advanced, they have to have that basic obedience, that foundation already has to be set, or you're just going to be kind of fighting against yourself and trying to teach them college course work, right? The kids got to go to elementary school, got to go to junior high, got to go to high school before they can even start attempting this college style work. Same thing with our dogs. They have to have gone through these other basic schools to start to understand the higher level that we're going to be asking from them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start getting out the beef stew meat, and I'm going to start laying a track, and you're going to watch how this starts to work as we start to develop the dog's olfactory. So let's get started, guys. All right, so here I have my beef stew meat all nicely cooked up. Again, I like to cook my beef stew meat in a medium rare style. You can kind of see that my beef stew meat is nice, medium rare. Our dogs are hungry. It's a little bit later in the morning, so the appetite is going to be accelerated. They're going to work hard for it. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take 2 to 3 pieces to start things off, because we're going to start the dog in a down and an off, whatever language you have been using to teach your canine that position. That's the position that we're going to start the game off. So I'm going to take about 3 pieces of meat, and if this is where I'm going to start my game, I'm going to put it down here on the ground. Then I want to go ahead and I'm going to step on it with my foot. My foot, I have odor. I'm constantly dropping odor, right? Odor is gravitational, so it's constantly dropping on the ground. I'm going to step onto the meat with my odor. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my left foot in front of my toe. All right? Just got done with some reconstruction ankle surgery, so this might be interesting and see if I can walk this straight line. But as I step down, I'm going to put my next piece of meat underneath. And now I'm going to step on that piece. Again, I'm going to take another step to walk, but I'm going to put that piece of meat under that foot. So it's about 12 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches, 12 inches apart. As you're really starting to develop this skill set in the beginning, the closer off, the better. Just fine. I'm going to put another piece of meat down. I'm going to step. I'm going to put another piece of meat down, 6 inches, 8 inches apart. I'm going to step. I'm getting a little wobbly myself. Another piece of food down, and then I'm going to step. Another piece of food down, and I'm going to step. I'm going to repeat this process all the way down the line for about 20 feet. Okay, now as I'm coming to the end of my track, what I want to do is I want to take 3 more pieces, which is bigger than the original 1 piece. I'm going to set them down and I'm going to step. Okay? Now if you look back, you'll see I have a nice straight line. We don't want that line to be wobbling. We don't want it to be all crooked. We want a very nice linear line all the way down with our meat, our trail laid. Now, the reason why I put 3 pieces of meat in the beginning is because I'm going to have the dog do an obedient down for me. So they're going to hold that down. They're going to hold that off. So to start the game, I'm going to reward them for also holding that obedient command for me. Because they did such a great job, they're going to get that very first get-go, create that excitation, lots of good food, and then they're going to start going into their nose down on the ground, searching for their food. Gobble, gobble, gobble. They're not going to be using their eyes to look up or anything. It's going to help keep their nose down on the ground, eat their pieces of food, one by one by one. I want to make sure that I keep the dog nice and slow though. So our caloric 11-year-old is going to be quite the challenge, especially she already knows how to play this game. So that's going to be an interesting challenge for us with the caloric canine. The Sangee canine, you'll get to see how she starts to play the game. A little bit more controlled. But in order to do this, I'm going to have to use the contrastive method. So I'm going to have to use mechanical and food at the same time. I'm going to put the dog on a lead today. So it's the first time you're going to see me using a lead. But in order to do it, the lead is going to start being a kind of another sort of a condition stimuli, because they're going to start to get used to the gear that we put on. So when I do tracking, when I do certain types of work where I use the dog's nose, a harness, a special type of a flat collar, a special type of a lead, the way you position the lead on the dog will start to cue your canine to where they'll start cognitively understanding the game that they're about to play. So gear is very, very important because it will also condition the dog into what the dog is going to be asked to be doing. At the end, you see I put 3 pieces of food. That's going to be the reward. So when I get the dog to the very, very end, I'm going to make sure before they eat those 3 pieces of food, I'm going to quickly try to put them in that down again. Get them in the down, because at the end, that's where I wanted them to go. I wanted them to get down to that. What I'm also going to do after we do 1 round, I'm going to now put an article underneath those 3 pieces of food, i.e. a hat, a shoe, a sock, something that has my odor on it. So I'm going to basically start to pair the fact that, wow, you started this track, you were using your nose, you got rewarded for keeping your nose on the ground, you're smelling my odor from my odor dropping down from a shoe, and then at the very, very end, there I am. You got rewarded for finding my shoe. Another important piece to kind of remember, don't go walking all over your area now, because the area is clean. I don't want to start putting my odor all over this area, because my odor should just stay in this nice track so the dog stays nice and in a straight linear line to find me. So you got to kind of be careful. You know, if I'm right here, what I really want to do if I go get my dog, because I don't want to be kind of contaminating my area a little bit, I'll try to like really jump over and out of the way, and I'll go down and I'll get my dog out, and walk them straight into the game. I don't want to be walking all over my area. So let's go ahead and get Rosie out, and we'll start running this first track. All right, so here we go. I have Rosie out. All right, Rosie's got a chain for my mechanical method. I'm looking again for the sound, but it's a way for me to keep good control over my canine. And I have a long 12-foot lead that I'm going to be using. I put the lead underneath my dog's arm, underneath her right arm, because this will help keep Rosie's head down, her nose down as she starts this track. What I want to do now with Rosie is I want to put her in the off position. Okay, I'm not going to reward her right off the bat, but I'm going to use my stimuli, conditioned stimuli. Rosie, off. Good girl. Her nose is already in it. You can see her nose is in it. She wants to get it. Off. Suka. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Off. Off. Okay, good girl. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Free. All right, so here I have Siren. I have our 11-year-old Chloric. Again, I'm going to put my lead underneath her arm. Hopefully, as I can pull, it will help keep her nose down to the ground. I want to bring my dog out to the track. Foos. Off. So I have Siren already in the down position. And then I'm just going to quickly ask for her eyes so she knows we're about to start a game. Eyes. Now the Chloric, the problem with the Chloric, she's going to want to go very fast. Chloric's a race car. She's already shaking. You can see her central nervous system is already becoming unbalanced the more and more I talk. Impulse control is always their weakness. You can see she wants to get up and get ready to get going. All right? We got to dictate the game on my pace. Manipulation now on her back withers will help me tell her, Siren, hold this off. Okay? My track is laid. The reward is at the end. Eyes. We're not starting the game. We're going to start the game my way, not her way, not when she wants to start the game. Very important. Hence why you have to have obedience. You must have obedience before you can teach them any other game, or you're going to always be fighting against yourself. Eyes. Suka. Good girl. Off. 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 Good girl. Good girl. Good job. Good job. Go play. Eye. Good girl. Eyes. Off. 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 Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Hey guys, welcome back. Now we're basically in a different facility, something that you can do inside your home. We're going to be basically playing hide and go seek. We're setting up a game, and there's going to be different levels today of our hide and go seek game that we're going to be playing with Rosie and with Siren that you saw earlier today. There's 3 different ways that our canines learn based off of their temperament and their behavioral reactions that are starting to develop. One way is going to be using their vision. The second way is going to be using their olfactory. And the third way is going to be using their auditory capabilities. So what you're going to see here is we're going to be basically setting up some hide and go seek games. Incredibly fun to play with your canine. The reward isn't going to be food. So this way we can be very active, we can get into our athletic mode, we can really up the excitation within our canine, where earlier in the video you saw we were trying to keep their central nervous system as calm and as stable as possible by using the food reward method. Here we're going to be using the toy reward method, as I am going to be the object, the odor, what they are going to try to find. So we're going to show you how we're setting up our hide and go seek game. You're going to see us playing with the reward in this really cool facility that we're very grateful to be able to be using today to show you how to set up a hide and go seek game in your own home or in any kind of a larger area. It's a great way to build attachment with your canine, trust with your canine. You'll see there's be no collars on our canine, no electric collars, no chains, no leads. The canine is going to be completely free in this environment to do what they were naturally born to do, which is to use all their superpower senses that they've been given. And that's innate inside them. All we're going to do is just really unlock them and have a lot of fun and see how they do. We're going to make the game, very easy from the beginning, where I'll be hiding in this space, but I'll be hiding where it's easy to find me. Once the canine is able to find me, they find me quickly, we engage in our play, then I'll start upping the game. Now I might hide underneath the vehicle. I might hide behind a cabinet or behind the vehicle where the dog won't be able to see me as easily, because we don't want them always to use their vision. We're going to want them to shift gears and go into their olfactory, go into an auditory sense. Do I bump something that kind of gives me away? We're going to do a bunch of different levels of this game. Do I now hide inside a trailer? Now they can't see me, they can't hear me, because I'll be laying down inside that trailer. So they're going to have to really work their nose. Much harder of a game. So there's going to be different levels of the hide and seek game that we're going to play, but this is all within the one-on-one family of tracking. It's basically getting the dog to use their vision, their olfactory, and their auditory to find something, to find an odor, to find an object. They're understanding the way we start to key them that now I need to work for it. So you're going to see Siren, who's chloric, how a chloric canine goes about their business, and then as an 11-year-old, and then you're going to see Rosie, a young 5-year-old, how she goes about her business being a Sangui dog. Two different temperaments work completely differently in their own way, but both will find what they need to find. So one works better for a certain job, one works better for another job. But at the end of the day, both canines will find their objective, and their objective is to find me. Let's get started. All right, so right now they're getting Rosie out, and they're bringing Rosie into the staging area of the game. And that's where we'll show you what I'm going to do when I go over there. But this is the crawl before we walk, before we run part of our hide and go seek game today. So the crawl, super easy hiding place, right? I'm just kind of hiding behind a little bit of an obstacle. Rosie's going to come in probably 50 yards away from here. Really easy for me to find. I'm trying to make it easy to where Rosie can use her eyes. Not much of her olfactory has to be used in this game. Very little auditory needs to be used. It's going to be more of a visual, but a quick win for Rosie. That's what I want to do. I'm building her confidence in this hide and go seek game. We want them to win quickly. We want them to win over and over and over again. If the game is too long, if they don't win right away because we haven't built them up, they might get frustrated. They might not search or hunt as hard as we want them to. So we really want to reward quickly, and we want to make the game as fast as possible in this crawl stage. So let me show you how this is all going to look. This is where I'm hiding. Okay, so we have Rosie right here. What I'm basically going to be doing is I'm going to be stimming Rosie up with her toy. This is something that she wants, something that oh, that's a good girl. That's a good girl. Los. Good job. I'm going to stim her up. She can see me visually. She knows I'm in the space. She knows I can't go anywhere else. That's what we want. Rosie! Rosie! Bye-bye! Now bow. That's a good girl, Rosie. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. Good job. Good job. Good job, Rosie. Good job. That's a good job. That's a good job. You found me. Lost. Okay. You found me. Good job. Oh. Okay. Yeah. You found me. 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 Wow. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. You found me. Oh, you found me. Lost. Apart. Siren, wow! You found me. Oh, come here. Come here. Oh, come here. Okay. Wow. Good job, girls. Good job. Wow. Wow. Lost. Okay. Ah, so good girl. Woo! Good job. Hey guys, thanks for watching our tracking one-on-one video. You can see a couple takeaways. It was great to make sure you get out into different environments, but how to play a simple game such as hide and go seek. And what you saw today is we did the crawl level of our hide and go seek game. We still have to show you, the walk and the run, but remember that there's different ways to create the stimulation in the way our dogs learn, visual, auditory, and from the olfactory sense. So we want to be able to tap into all three of those. Also, you saw a little bit of us using the imitative method. We're going to show you in our 102 and 103 how to really use that imitative method to go even farther with enhancing our dog's capabilities. And you also got to see what a Sanghi dog looks like versus a Chloric. A Chloric at 11 years old and a Sanghi at 5. And then our basic using the food method. But a lot of basic, simple little games that you can just go out and have fun playing with your dog, whether it's raining outside. You can go ahead and play this game inside. Remember, 15 minutes of using a dog's nose, that capability is equivalent to throwing a ball for an hour in a field and potentially causing a soft tissue injury. So it's a great way to create bonding with your dog, to have your dog start to use all their powerful super bionic senses that they possess, and really start to develop them in elite skills, something that's much more simpler. But remember, you need to make sure you have your obedience done. But if you start to watch our 102 and our 103, we're going to start teaching you how to teach the smell command, how to teach the dog to find it, the suka command. There's multiple commands that fall in the family of tracking. So guys, make sure you like and you subscribe. Much more to come.
We interrupt our program to bring you a special broadcast.